Hey y'all, hey, and welcome to Tootie Talksins. Come on in, like the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and come on y'all, let's discuss.
Straight from the shot, spitting truth, no halt. Tootie talk sense, keep the culture on vault. Politics, humor, mix it raw in the stew. Breaking down the news like she's slicing a cube. Come on, y'all, let's discuss, that's the frame. Dropping hitters, Tootie's putting lames to shame. Hilarious but real, got the nation on the buzz. Got them tuning in like they addicted to the love. She the queen of the trends, no fake, no frauds. Unpacking every topic, flipping all the odds. From city lights sparking to the Capitol walls. Tootie got the mic, they just stalling in the hall. She a vibe, make Chicago proud on the route. Windy City wit, knocking all the clout out. Raw but so rich, intellect on the brim. Swimming through the chaos, never decrease the dim. Come on y'all, let's discuss, that's the frame. Breaking it down, keep it sharp like a blade. Hilarious but real, got the nation on the buzz. Tootie talk sense, spreading heat like the sun. Kanye level antics, nah, she's supreme. Stitching words together like a courtroom dream. Politics on canvas, brush strokes vivid. Tootie's broad vision turning limits to liquid.
So today we're gonna talk about day 3 of this Diddy trial. So Cassie is still testifying. Yeah, Cassie is still testifying. She's doing the cross from the defense now. So on day 3, that's when they talk about that videotape, the hotel tape, when you see P. Diddy beating Cassie. So she said that Diddy would force her to ask prostitutes if they was cops 6 to 8 times. And she would have to say that she is not a cop. She said the hotel instance, Diddy threw a vase at her head and took her phone. But the defense is saying that they got into it because she seen that Cassie is extremely jealous, and she seen some girl had called Diddy phone, and so she took that Diddy phone, and that's his phone and not her phone, and that's why all this happened. So after the hotel, Cassie left with a black eye. Diddy sent text after text saying, call him, and how he got kids. He was like, oh, call me. I got kids. You don't do this. Call me. I said, don't seem like he changed much to try to use your kids to help you get out of the situation. Because it looked like that's the same thing you're doing right now, bringing them doggone kids to this trial, knowing doggone well that it's going to be a whole freak show. That all your business finna be out here. Now, yeah, they're going to see it on the news and blah, and, in blogs and, maybe they'll watch me, hey, y'all, and, and on YouTube and everything. But they don't have to set them for it. And you as the parent should be like, okay, y'all, stay home. Because I don't want you to know how freaky daddy is. I know y'all know I done did some things. That's why, it's 7 of y'all, or 6. Because I think one is the 7 they count as Kim's first son. But I'm not for sure. Either way, I know it's most of y'all. Y'all know your daddy been out there in them streets. But y'all don't need to know how nasty I got, okay? You don't need to hear it in person. You can watch it on news or whatever, but you don't need to hear. You don't need to be sitting here in the court where everybody watching your face and, watching the kids' reaction to all this peeing on people. But let me continue. So he was trying to say he got kids. They showed a picture of Cassie with her a busted lip and a black eye. She was supposed to be doing a big premiere. And that's why because the hotel thing happened at a freak off. That was a freak off that was going on. And she said he got violent during a freak off and beat her up. Now, She said she didn't want to do that freak off because she had a big premiere coming up. And as she testified before, the freak off was she would have to take these drugs and liquor. And it was really tough on her body because he wanted big back pain to be banging it down. And she needed time to recover. So she didn't even want to do this freak off. But this is according to her. She didn't want to do this freak off. But because she had a big premiere, and that was the biggest thing she had had in her career. So they show text of Diddy saying, "Call me. The cops are here, and you're going to abandon me." I said, "Don't that sound like I and what's love got to do? You gonna leave me like the rest of our people?"
Guess you gonna leave me now.
I said, "Baby." So Cassie texts back, "I have a premiere. This is the biggest thing I ever done, and now I have a fat lip and a black eye." This motherfucker didn't even apologize. Do you hear me? But say, "Call me." I guess he didn't want to admit what he did through text, but I'm just like, it's in video. You just did it in public. So, but then again, according to the security guard, he had gave him, had threw a wad of cash at him. The security guard said he didn't take it. But I'm like, you didn't take it, but this video never came out until now that you had on your phone. But I'm like, oh, well, I don't know what he didn't apologize, nothing. He talking about just call me. So anyway, Diddy continues saying, "Pick up the phone. You're gonna leave me with the cops out here. I'm getting arrested."
So you won't leave me like all them other suckers I done made famous.
So Cassie responded, plugging my phone and going. Oh, she responded, "Unplugging my phone and going to bed. You should do the same." Her best friend was at the house when she arrived, and she called the police. So it seems like her best friend called the police because obviously Cassie's face was fucked up. So the police came. Cassie said she answered a couple of questions but refused to say who had did that to her face because she wanted to protect Diddy. And most abusers do this. Like they don't, even if somebody else called the police for them. Most abusers do that, and that's why a lot of states now have it like if a police is called and you're the the guy, the girl, whoever the abuser is arrested and they go to court, the state will sometimes pick up those charges without the victim even have to if the abuse is bad because they know a lot of abusers will not press charges. So Diddy come to her apartment. His two assistants called Cassie and say Diddy is at the door. He was kicking and banging on the door. She spoke to D-Rock and went to his house because she felt safe with him and his wife. She eventually responded to Diddy and he came to D-Rock house to get her. They brought up more photos of the escort. So one of the guys, Diddy flew him out. So and she was saying one of the guys Diddy flew him to wherever they was at. So I was like, to me, that's just their again them establishing the charge of transportation for prostitution, which carries a max of 10 years. So, and I said this yesterday that I believe that this is going to be the easiest charge to prove if they could just get get the person who was the escort. You get the evidence that that person was an escort. If that person is on one of these frick off tapes, you get the ticket that was paid. But I'm trying to think how would they prove that P Diddy paid for the tickets because a lot of the things P Diddy wasn't paying for, which probably is why they got it as the racketeer and RICO charges because he will use the company, the record label, and everything like that to carry out the illegal activities. Okay, so Diddy asked Cassie to do a freak off without ketamine. And she said, "This is all we do. I'm still recovering. Call Kim or something." So I said, I guess at this time, she was finding her voice back because she was talking all types of shit. She said, "Get somebody else to do it." So I said, I believe at this point, she's beginning to realize that she ain't even his girlfriend. Baby, you exactly what you said earlier. You're a sex slave. and he ain't doing nothing with you. She pretty much said he just come over and she have to do these freak offs. Like it ain't even modeling and singing ain't even her job no more. She's there. Her job is to do these freak offs. And then she was in her. Well, I don't know what stage this was because I don't know what year this was. Because I'm assuming by this point she's a little older because I think she said she signed her deal at 19 and she started messing with P Diddy at 22. So I'm like, but at that 22 age, she believed she was his girlfriend because 22, you like, oh, we slept together, we go together real big. That's how you be at that age. Took a little time, get a little older, realized, no, you don't. So anyway, she said he would fly escorts in for the freak off. Diddy would threaten to release her freak off tapes when she dated someone else. He would tell her he's going to make her look like a slut. She had a text as proof where she asked Diddy to please delete any videos on his phone. And he was like, I did already. Lies. What Murray? What
Lie
Murray
detector
at?
test determined that was a lie.
Another text is Cassie telling Diddy that she was at a party and someone told her they saw a freak off tape of her. So it wasn't that the person saw the freak off tape. It was the person know somebody who said they saw a freak off tape of Cassie. So she called Diddy to tell Diddy, and Diddy was like, "Don't let that person out your sight." So then they go to dinner, where Diddy was. There was security to pressure them into telling him where they seen the tape. Then the prosecutors asked, "How did she recover after a freak off?" She took opioids to calm down off X, and she developed an addiction. She started having GI issues, and she would get UTIs all the time from all the drugs she was taking. And I'm like, UTI, which is really urinary tract which is a urinary tract infection. I'm like that could come from all the drugs you're taking, but it also could come from all this baby oil that you're introducing. This baby oil, this what Astro Glide, this whatever type of other lube you get up in there. Because ladies, let's take a second, ladies, to talk about your vajayjay. Your vajayjay is very sensitive. Your men's out there who wonder how your girl always know when you cheat because it's very our vajayjay very sensitive. She probably started smelling different down there. That's how sensitive your vajayjay is. If your man come over messing around with you and he done been with somebody else, it could change the whole chemistry down there. You like, I'm not smelling like myself. Mm-mm. So not only do you will get the UTIs because that baby oil is a different pH than your natural wetness, the natural walk down there. Okay, that baby oil is some extra stuff that maybe shouldn't be introduced to down there, and if you do, it's gonna have to get cleaned or whatever. So you can mess up everything, your whole pH down there. I'm surprised UTIs was the only thing she was getting. I'm surprised it wasn't getting bacterial vaginitis. I'm surprised she wasn't getting that with introducing all this stuff for down there. Now, not only do we get UTIs, but bacterial vaginitis. I know y'all heard of people try to shame women for it, saying, "Oh, it's a STD or she stank or that smell like fish." But what bacterial vaginitis is, it's actually an overgrowth of bacteria down in your vajayjay area. Okay, and it's just like your stomach. Your stomach have natural bacteria, some good bacteria, some bad bacteria, and there's a delicate balance that's there. But then that bad bacteria will come and overcrowd it like New York City, okay? And then that's where you develop bacterial vaginitis. Now, you could get it from douching for the people who still do that. That's why it's not recommended to douche because your body should naturally balance out its pH, and when you douche, it'll wipe out the some of the good that should be there. Now I ain't gonna say. I just did y'all know I just learned this that men that's in a lifestyle douche. I had no idea, y'all. Had no idea. But why would I? Not in a lifestyle. Why would I know something like that? But anyway, a man with a bad mouth could mess up there that cause you to have bacteria vaginitis, and it'll just be because he not good at his oral hygiene, and he go down there and give you some oral, baby, you're gonna start smelling different, wondering why. Now I'm just giving y'all this information because at this time Cassie is young, and I passed my mama who was young. I had to live, I had to learn. So some of y'all may not know it, some of you do, because I want to say everybody, majority of the people watching are like 30s. So y'all probably already know this information. But if some of you young people come across it, girls, once you do it, and we're gonna call it do it. Once you do it, you're supposed to get up and go use the bathroom because that will cause UTI. Something that simple that you're not urinating after using the bathroom because doing sex you get a and they're sweating everything down that little hole and it could cause things are going in that hole, whether it's sweat, whether it's dirt, whatever, going in your little urethra. That's where your pee come out from if y'all don't know. But and women are more prone to UTIs. Men can get UTIs too, but women are more prone to it because our urethra is shorter, and the urinary tract infection is just where bacteria get up to your bladder and then cause the infection. So it gets up there through your urethra, and women have smaller urethras, so we're more prone, or it's faster, it's easier for us to get a UTI. So when after you go do it. After you do the nasty, go pee. And also, people with STD has an increased chances of uh, contracting UTIs. So back to the Cassie case. Cassie was getting UTIs back to back to back, like the Bulls in the 90s, baby. It got so bad that she built up a resistance to the medication. She was taking so much of the medication that the medication stopped working. Diddy would still force her to have sex with her UTI. Now I know we already know by now he's a fiend. She developed sores on her tongue and in her mouth from the urine, the drugs, and the oral. Like as she said, these freakouts started happening 3 to 4 times a week. And then she testified that sometimes they will last 3 to 4 days. So you and part of the like the Diddy guidelines for the fear freak off. It's like I said yesterday. It started with the sitting across, then pleasing yourself, then baby oil, then they will give each other oral. So she got these big black pains that she got to suck on all day, and then this baby oil on them, and she doing drugs, so she had sores all in her mouth. He would take her to sex clubs with the escort. Sometimes during freak off, Diddy would become violent. She would run and hide. Then Diddy or someone else would come to find her, and they would continue the freak off. He frequently beat her up at freak off in front of escorts. One Cassie was at home. Okay, one time Cassie was at home with her girlfriend and a guy friend named Dante. Diddy come over and start beating Cassie because she wasn't ready to go, and her girlfriend and Dante turned Diddy every way but loose, baby. They said the girlfriend and Dante beat Diddy ass. I said, good. Finally. Okay? All these straight men, these bodyguards, these male escorts, I sat in there, standing there, while Diddy is beating the shit out of Cassie. And none of them, as far as she have testified so far, have intervened, have stopped him, have beat his ass. And it takes a woman and a little gay guy to finally stand up and beat Diddy ass. And the only reason why I'm saying I'm gonna put the picture, but the only reason why I'm saying he's a gay guy, yes, is because of this outfit. But also because I don't believe if he was straight, Diddy would have allowed him over at Cassie apartment. Thank you to the allies out there. I don't know why people think that gay men can't fight, baby. Gay men can fight because they probably grew up fighting. All my life I had to fight, but I killed them. Like they probably grew up fighting from y'all messing with them, calling them sweet and things like that. You know, the F word that back in the day was popular. They done fought all they doggone life. Oh, gay men would get down in that paint with a straight man. I feel like it's as fine long as it's with a man. But they would get down in that paint. And they can whoop, they be whooping these straight man ass because you go in there all overconfident thinking that this gay man is gonna be like fighting the women. At the end of the day, they still men. The gay man is still a man. And it been being there whooping y'all ass. So apparently this one, let me let me not say this one because I do not know if this man is gay. It didn't even come up. But this man and this woman whooped Diddy ass. So Diddy eventually let go of Cassie and she hit her head and had a big gash above her eye, and they showed the picture. Now I was watching memes and he said the picture was very disgusting, like the gash was bad. It was really big, like this big on the side of her head. So he had to call a plastic surgeon to get her eye stitched up. Then they went to the hotel, took drugs, and she woke up in the shower nude with water running down on her. And Dave, who was the escort, and Diddy was standing above her, freaking out because they thought she had OD'd. But once she woke up, yeah, they went head on and did the freak off. One assistant named George quit after witnessing Diddy beating Cassie. She said she had initiated fights with Diddy before, and Diddy was never injured, but every time Diddy initiated a fight with her, she was injured. 2007 was the first time of violence. After leaving the club, they get in the car. He punched her and stomped her. Once she was talking to a producer inside the club, and when they got in the car, Diddy stumped her in her face like he punched her down to the ground, to the floor of the car, and stomped her for 10 minutes from the club to the rat to his house. And I'm assuming his house, because they said for 10 minutes was about 10 minutes away from the club. So when the car stopped at his house, she tried to get out the car and run, and the security chased her down and brought her back. Her face was messed up so bad that he made her stay hidden at a hotel until it healed. She said once Prince had an impromptu performance at his house that Cassie's girlfriend found out about and invited Cassie. So she didn't tell Diddy because, she wanted it's Prince. She wanted to go see Prince, and Diddy may not have allowed it. So she didn't tell him. Her girlfriend just went, and Diddy showed up at Prince's house. And Cassie ran out the house. When she seen Diddy, she ran out and went home. But Diddy came to Cassie's house and beat her up. She described how he beat her when he found text messages about Kid Cudi. Now, man, Kid Cudi is supposed to be the one that Diddy blew his car. She said once her and her friend had to hide under a tractor for 2 hours from Diddy. Another time he was beating her so bad that the bodyguard started crying when they saw how bad he was beating her. She was taking opiates all the time, and so was Diddy. He had a network of doctors to write him prescriptions. She did rehab on multiple occasions. She, oh, so I'm assuming this is the defense was bringing up. I don't know, was this the defense or the prosecutors? But there was a time that I believe she said she was with her mom. I can't remember who she was with, but she that somebody had took a lady had took a picture of her and had got in the car. So Cassie went over there, yanked the lady out the car, and beat the lady up. So they were showing, because the defense, what the defense is saying is that Cassie is like this angry, violent person, and of course, all the drugs and everything that she did, and that yes, Diddy is toxic and Diddy's an abuser, but Cassie also would start these fights and everything that he did. He's like guilty of domestic violence, but he's not guilty of any of this other stuff. That's what the defense is trying to say. So that's why they're asking. That's why they brought up the time she, beat up a woman, put the woman out the car and beat up. That's why they asking, have you initiated in any of these fights with Diddy? Because they're painting her as this very jealous, violent ex. So she began to sleepwalk. She had PTSD. She had started to see her husband Alex, and but still went out to dinner with Diddy. He brought her home, I worded her. She was crying and said no, but he continued. He finished inside her, got up without a word, and just left. They saw each other at a dinner where he was nice. They had consensual sex that time. And that was the last time she saw Diddy. So the last time, so she said she had went to rehab a couple of times. The last time she went to rehab is because she tried to unalive herself. She had put her kids to bed and then told her husband, "You don't need me. Here, you can do this on your own." And then tried to walk in traffic, and her husband had to hold her to keep her from walking in traffic. So she went to rehab, and that's when she started writing a book. And she sent chapters of the book to Diddy, hoping that it would make him apologize for everything that he done to her. And of course, he didn't. So that's when she sued him, and she was asking for, I want to say 30. Yeah, she was asking for 30 million, and Diddy was like, so he ended up settling for 20 million. And the whole reason why this whole lawsuit, and I've seen a lot of lawyers take saying this case probably would have never even happened if Diddy had settled this lawsuit earlier, because he, the reason why she went ahead and went public with the lawsuit, because they was in going back and forth with the lawyers trying to settle this before she filed the lawsuit, is because her date to file was running out. So if he would have went ahead and settled when she first came, this lawsuit would have never went public. He ended up selling. That's when y'all know everybody. Did he settle within 24 hours on this lawsuit? He ended up settling for 20 million, and he wanted to get her 10 million because I guess he like, I didn't do $20 million worth of pee. I only did $10 million worth of pee with 5 million worth of pee and 5 million worth of ass whippings. I'm assuming that's how he thought, but he only wanted to give the, I keep calling her girl, the young lady. He only wanted to give Cassie 10 million. And so this is how this lawsuit ended up coming out, because she went head on and filed, and he settled 24 hours later. He ended up selling for $20 million. So this was day 3, and this was all still the prosecutors. Day 4 is the defense. So I will be back to give y'all day 4. Go ahead and enjoy the rest of y'all day. Like the video if you haven't already. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Follow me on our social media platforms at Tootie Talk Sense. And I will talk to y'all next time. Bye.